The folks at Jinko Fishing not only bring you the Low Budget Live podcast, they also bring you all the action. Like the action that brand new tin cannon walking bait puts out there that makes fish go crazy, or the bait we're very excited about, just released at ICAST. The Dawn Minnow has a rolling action like nothing you've ever seen, especially paired with the Revolution jig head. Amazing, amazing combo right there. If you're into the minnow shaking, and a lot of you are out there, I promise you, the Dawn gets a bite. They're all available right now at jinkofishing.com. And just for listening to this show, you can save 20%. Use code LBL20 at jinkofishing.com. Just for being a low lifer, you get 20% off. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. All right, we got to hang the banner. That's right, the Bassmaster Classic winning original all-welded aluminum bass boat. I just got that X21 Pro back in the garage, the Espresso, as I am referring to it, the beautiful Express 21 Pro. I've got a little bit of tan sea deck in that bad boy this year. Still got that 250 Yamaha Show. Best hole shot in the game, more tackle storage than you can shake a stick at. Don't just take my word for it. Find a local dealer. Go sit in one. Go drive one. You will not regret it. Express Boats, building excitement since 1966.
Damn these Biloxi blues. It happens every night. And I ain't never met a riverboat dealer that could ever be a friend of mine.
No.
The summer heat never treats me kind. It leaves trouble on my mind. So I'm bidding farewell, putting in my notice, and I'll see you at another time.
Same.
This highway does not know my name, and I don't care.
Nope.
No,
I don't care.
Don't care. Headed my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare.
Right there, old hook
Just
right
a
here.
white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to get there.
Oh, budget. Live, the not so live variety from the Low Budget Live Bar and Grill here in beautiful southern Middle Tennessee, presented by Jinko Fishing. Use code LBL20 there at Jinko Fishing. Save on everything like them Don Minners that caught a few bass for me on Friday. It was a good time. This is the podcast for Monday, September the 22nd. You bunch of lowlifers, I hope you're all doing well out there. And as I just mentioned, yes, I had one of those weekends that I really thoroughly enjoy. When I get to just do, I'm like a kid, right? When I get to do everything I want to do, then I'm in a better mood. Now, I got to fish Friday and absolutely smash. Great time. September can be weird, but the fish were, when you can intercept them this time of year when they're on their way to where they going, right? It's a transition time. And I did just that on Friday and had a time. Caught a couple big smallmouth on the Tennessee River, which I always enjoy. And so got to do that. And then on Saturday, got to go hang at the new Academy Sports and Outdoors in Coleman, Alabama. The Alabama Bass Trail team and Scott Canterbury and Wesley Gore were there hanging with us. So I got to spend a few hours with those guys. Always a great time picking the experts' brains about all sorts of things, whether it's the industry or tackle or techniques, whatever. And those two dudes are dialed. They're so dialed. They're dialed in different ways. I will say that. Having conversations with them is, Wesley's his second year on the Elite Series now. Canterbury, obviously, veteran, former Bassmaster Elite Series Angler of the Year, former FLW Tour champ, NPFL champ this year. He's won a lot. He's been at this a long time. But having conversations with him at the same time, about where we are and where we're headed and all the changes and the talking with Canterbury about the past and things. Very good time. Very good time. Very insightful, too. I will say that. Very insightful. But thanks to Miss Kay for allowing me to be a part of that. My buddy Daniel Montgomery was there from ABT, and we missed our buddy John Simpson. He had a little stomach bug going on that kept him from hanging out with us. But great time down there in Coleman. And I'm an Academy guy. I'll just say it. No affiliation, but I know I've talked on the show about Shields. Like, I really like going to a Shields when Shields are around, and fortunately they're not in the South. But Academies have always been one of my go-tos for sure, especially on hunting stuff. Love Academy. Coleman, Alabama. It was like the first time I'd seen this store layout. It's a new layout. It's really nice, really nice. So if Academy wants to sponsor LBL, they can. I won't turn you down, but no affiliation there whatsoever. But awesome stores, awesome folks. All right, so I got to do that. And then Saturday night, me and the Triple Threat rolled up to Nashville to the Ryman Auditorium to watch the one and the only freaking Reckless Kelly. And if you don't know the band Reckless Kelly, I'm sorry. Your day today probably sucked if you don't know who Reckless Kelly is. I'm just saying. You're not treating your ears to the right thing, but been a Reckless Kelly fan for a long time. Supposedly this is it. 2025 is the last year they're ever going to tour. Breaks my heart to hear that. And glad we got to catch them at the Ryman. Cody Canada and The Departed open for them. Of course, Cody's got, ragweed back going, and some of these cross-Canadian ragweed, some of these big stadium shows and whatnot. He played some ragweed. So it was a good night. Good night. We thoroughly enjoyed going out and acting like we were not old and tired on Saturday night. So good weekend. Good weekend. A little late on LBL today because our guests could not record until today. So that is what we're doing. Appreciate y'all all tuning in and being patient as always with me. Got NPFL this week. The finale is here. The sixth event of the 6-event season right here. Logan Martin, not too far from home. Looking forward to being close to home for one. Love that area down there, Oxford, Alabama. We're going to be at Lincoln Landing. Lincoln Landing's where all the takeoffs and weigh-ins will take place there. Awesome facility, amazing facility they've built down there. Been there for multiple ABTs. Looking forward to being there this week. Again, know a lot of people in that area. Looking forward to hanging down there in Oxford, Alabama with the NPFL crew. This event will not be a barn burner weight-wise. This won't be a 20-pound-a-day deal. This will not be a 18-pound-a-day deal. This will be a fall, a late summer, early fall grinder. No forward-facing sonar. You're going to see guys doing a lot of different things. Logan Martin is full of bass. It's got as many bass as anywhere we take the Alabama Bass Trail. I mean, I think the stat was like 222 teams out of 225 had limits when we were there this spring. So expect bass to get caught. Catching that 2.5-pound average and above will be key for these guys. And we've got a tight Progressive Angler of the Year race. I know the Elite Series had one of the tightest ones in history, but if you've been paying attention, this one on the NPFL is coming down to the wire. Kyle Welcher has a 7-point lead, 7 points over Patrick Walters, and he has a 19-point lead over Greg Hackney in third. But still, not a huge field, so it's hard to make up big gaps, but those three guys are really, it's a 3-horse race. Obviously, the top two, they've not been far away from each other all year. So Welcher, with a ton of experience on Logan Martin, does not live that far. I do not expect him to drop the ball this week. Patrick Walters also rarely drops the ball. I know Patrick put in some work before this one. I think you need to tune in. I really do. I'm obviously a company man, but this is one to watch. It's going to be a lot of fun. We will be live on Friday and Saturday for this event this week at tnpfl.com. So tune in. This one will be a good time. I expect one or two or all three of those gentlemen to be in the top 5 or top 10 going into Showdown Saturday on the final day of the season. We will see. And then next week, I turn right back around, and we got the NPFL championship from last year, the top 40. We'll duke it out on Lake Hartwell. So busy. This is, I've had a little bit of a break, but we're wide open again in the tournament world. So tune in this week. Logan Martin, Coosa River. You'll see some spotted bass. You'll see some largemouth. I'm sure we're going to see some buzz baiting. We're going to see some brush pile fishing. some jig fishing, some frog fishing, a little bit of everything. The EQs, Bassmaster EQs kicked off. Congrats to Emil Wagner, freak of nature, fish catcher. And congrats to Lake Champlain, okay? I don't know what they put in the water up there. Obviously, these smallmouth have been feeding up for the fall, but when 20 pounds a day is just an attaboy on Champlain, which is a fantastic fishery, but we normally don't see weights like that. It was an incredible freaking tournament. I think this was the heaviest 3-day total in Bassmaster history on Champlain that Emil set by winning that. Him winning also got John Cruz in the Classic. So another elite guy gets in because Emil was already in. So congrats to the Cruz missile on that. He slid in there with Emil winning, and there'll be a couple more opportunities for elite guys because they can fish these EQs. If they win, they go to the Classic. That bumps another elite angler in. So the EQ was cool. It was cool to keep up with. You know, when it's all or nothing in points in 3 tournaments, and these guys have worked hard all year, it is sad to see that you can't have a bad day, man. You can't have a bad day. You got to be damn near perfect in 3 tournaments, which is tough to do across 3 very diverse fisheries. And we've talked about this a lot on here, but there are a lot of hopefuls and favorites, I would say, going into those EQ points that are down near the bottom now that have, I won't say zero chance because you never have zero chance. I guess if you're in the event, you've got an opportunity. But it's such a small field. Again, it's like NPFL. It's hard to make up big gaps in points, right? And historically, there are going to be 10 dudes that finish an average of around 15th or 20th place, something like that, in these EQs that don't give you a chance. Even if you come back, you win a couple, or you come back and have a couple top 10s, there are a lot of folks that shot themselves in the foot, so to speak, and they're done. They're done. And so, you know, Okeechobee, I feel like, because these are expensive events, we're living in an expensive time. I feel like Okeechobee, once about half of them know they're not going to be in contention, they're not going to go to Okeechobee. You know, there's already that talk, and I'm sure that's frustrating for bass, but that's just the nature of the beast. I'm not going to spend my money to go if it's only points based, right? You can still win and go to the Classic. I mean, that's a carrot for sure. But I guarantee you, there's some boys driving home from New York. They're like, woof, I don't know that I'm going to South Florida at the end of this thing. Hell, I may not even go to Wheeler, you know, that type mentality, just because things are so expensive. But some surprises up there for sure. But that points race, I believe Matt Messer from Kentucky is leading the EQ points. He had a hell of an event up there, came up just short on the win. But EQs are fun. Russ Lane, shout out to Big Pop. I want to say that Russ Lane had a heck of an event. He's fishing like a man possessed this year, and he's making his presence known in the opens and in those EQs, trying to get back to the Elite Series. So congrats to old Big Pop, old cranker himself, on that. All right, very excited about today. This is this dude right here. He's only been on the show one time. We go way back. Coolest cat in bass fishing, in my opinion. No offense to anybody else, but this is the guy right here, in my opinion. He has been since he burst onto the scene with FLW Circuit Breaker documentary series. Shout out Kyle Wood, Kyle Lumber on that. But West Coast guy, now living in Alabama. He just won the MLF Team Series. I'm not sure what they called it. This is the team championship. I don't know. It had a specific name. I don't know the specific name. Okay. I just know they're fun as crap to watch. They got to be intense to be in. He fishes with a dude named Jacob Wheeler. They were able to take the title over some absolute stone cold fish catchers up in Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen, MDJ Mark Daniels Jr. All right. As promised, here he is, the one and only MDJ. He's a little under the weather. So we're going old school with a little phone call. Mark Daniels Jr., how are you? Other than having a little bit of the crud.
Yeah, man. We were just talking about it a minute, before we started recording, man. This traveling, man. Generally I'm in my truck, right? Wisconsin being 14-hour ride for me, I decided to fly.
Yeah.
And we all know what happens when you jump on that plane with about 200 other folks and you locked in, man. And it got me.
Yep.
It definitely did. But it was all good. It was worth it. I'm here, so I can't complain.
I was going to say it was worth it. It looked like did you have to check that giant trophy that they give away for that team series? How'd you get that bastard back to Alabama?
That is, I ain't gonna lie. That is one sizable trophy they give out, man. It really is, which is pretty cool. But
cool.
Fortunately for us, me and Jacob both flew, so the league's actually shipping it.
Okay,
us,
good.
Man. So
good.
They're putting it in the mail. Yeah, because I could imagine walking in the airport with that thing.
You're getting searched. I don't know what for, but
sure.
just because they're nosy, man, they're going to want to be like, what in the hell do you do to win a trophy this big? Somebody's pulling you to the side in TSA over that trophy.
Oh, well, it's bad enough with the you got the rod tube, and the one that I have literally says bazooka.
Yeah,
on the
I was going to
side,
say the bazooka tube. Yeah.
Yeah, that's already pull it over. Let me see what that is.
No doubt.
So the trophy would have just been double.
Do you have a pretty good system now? You've been traveling for so long. When you do have to not get to use your boat and you fly, do you have a pretty good system for hauling tackle?
Yeah, I do. What I'll do is I'll dedicate one suitcase to just literally tackle, and I have the like the hard shell suitcases, so I'm not worried about the way they throw your stuff around. So
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about damaging my stuff, but so I pack as much tackle as I can into one suitcase. I take all my reels off. I put them in my backpack. So they'll be in my backpack, glasses, some accessories like snips, pliers, things like that in my backpack. And then I got another suitcase, of course, with all my clothes. And then, of course, when we talk about bass fishing, I got rain gear, rain boots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, you talking about, I went to Wisconsin. I got thermals in there. I don't like being cold, so I'm ready for everything.
Me either. Well, and I think you got it packing for a bass tournament. I think that especially at this, either in the spring of the year or in the fall when things start to change, especially when you go up north. But people, my wife for years has laughed at me. She's like, "You're taking shorts, flip-flops, boots, rain gear, and gloves to the same damn tournament? You're going to be gone a week." Yep. And I'm like, yeah, because this week we're going to see everything you could ever possibly think of over the course of 3 days. Like it is. And if you're not prepared though, like you said, you end up getting somewhere you don't have the luxury of just walking in your closet and adding another layer or whatever. You gotta have it with you when you roll out from the house. So yeah, flying with tackle has never been my favorite thing to do. I know that.
Yeah.
Like the rod part of it, man, it always makes me nervous just because, like you're saying, they throw your stuff around. You can't you can't trust the airlines with. I traveled with guitars for years, and man, you talk about just almost having a heart attack all the time, man.
100%, man, because those things are expensive.
Yes, they are. Yeah, I was pretty fortunate over the years I did it, but I've had friends that have not been as fortunate, have had some destroyed by airlines for sure, man, and they don't do anything.
TSA's tough, man. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like I've seen some of them behind the scene videos and just how they do your stuff, man. And I'm just like, damn. And then like you'll get your bag and one of the wheels are broke off.
Yeah.
And I used to think, oh man, that's what happened when they put it on the carousel, and it's going around. Nah, my man threw it 15 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And he missed the cart and it landed on the ground. That's what happened.
Exactly. And he said, it's all right. And then he kicked it when he got to it.
Good, yeah.
Because he was mad that somebody probably saw him do that. Well, dude.
Exactly, bro.
So these, the team series, and when I was doing my intro for you, I said I couldn't remember that it was called the Heritage Cup. So this one was the Heritage Cup.
That's right.
These team series have been, for me as a fan and keeping up with everything going on, as long as I have, I think they're really cool because I think we have needed, in my opinion, a professional team event. I think that it's relatable to most of us. That's how everybody starts, right? For the most part, everybody kind of starts in team tournaments. It's still the most popular form of tournament bass fishing. It's the most accessible to most people. So I think for me, watching two absolute hammers like you and Jacob in the boat together, and y'all are great friends on and off the water, but I think watching your interactions or watching Andy and Ott or Drew and Marshall, like watching the decisions play out and how your styles go together, is
Yeah.
it's been needed, in my opinion. And we saw it a little bit with like the TTBC back in the day and things
That's right.
like that, but those weren't live streamed. You know, it was a TV show after, a post-production TV show, but the seasons are starting to change a little bit, starting to be a little cool at night, and you better be ready for the fall and winter fishing season or hunting season. And you can do that by going to gillfishing.com. Make sure your rain suit is up to par for those cooler days, nasty days on the water. We're going to have a lot of fronts coming up. You want to be prepared. Get you some layering gear, get you some hoodies, get you some boots. Gillfishing.com. You can use code LBL20. That's right, 20% off at gillfishing.com on some of the best outdoor gear in the game. Tell them we sent you. Gillfishing.com, LBL20. Pro Guide Batteries, ProGuideBatteries.com is where you can find everything that they make. And why trust your battery game to someone that is a fly-by-night company? There are battery companies that pop up, I feel like, every week. The folks from Pro Guide have been in this battery business for over 40 years. They make some of the finest lead acid, AGM, and lithiums in the game, and now they have a new charger line. That's what I'm running in the Express this year. I've got a little bit of mix of lithium, AGM, and a Pro Guide 5-bank charger. Check them out, ProGuideBatteries.com. LBL10 will save you money just for being a lowlifer. Baitworks.com, bait-wrx.com, the exclusive online home for this little bad boy right here. The LOB Power Finesse Jig, finer than frog hair skirt material, custom trocar hook. It is jig season officially. This dude right here, this time of year, absolutely puts in the work. Dunkin-10, Dunkin-10 saves you money on that and everything else on the Baitworks site, baitworks.com. And last but not least, what's up, old boy? Old Boy Brands, Old Boy Outfitters out of Knoxville, Tennessee. They make some of the coolest lifestyle gear in the game, from their game day collections to their hunting and fishing tees, long sleeve hooded sun shirts, shorts. They got a little bit of everything. Hoodies, it's growing by the day. Oldboyoutfitters.com is where you can find it, and you can use code OLDBOYLUKE, Old Boy, O-L-E, boy, Luke, at checkout to save some money. What are your thoughts, though, man? As an angler, there's been a lot of change as far as what y'all have done in those postseason kind of old MLF style events, if you will. What's your thoughts on the team series?
Man, I think like you said, man, I think the team series is a really cool opportunity for the fans. Like you said, we all grew up fishing team events. I'm no different, of course. And it's extremely relatable. Everybody fishes the Tuesday nighters, the Wednesday nighters, the weekend this, the weekend that with your buddy, right? Or with your dad or your grandpa, or somebody that you're super comfortable with, right? And so now being able to do this, I guess, for lack of better words, on a professional level with professional anglers, it just allows the fans, I feel like, to connect with this, man.
Yeah.
And, dude, I feel like the league, man, we've had our struggles, man, over the years. We're starting out just trying to figure everything out, man. They're learning, and they've been making, in my opinion, the last couple of years, some really good decisions. And this is one of them, the team series.
Yeah, I'm with it, man. I think that obviously you and I've had off-camera conversations about this a number of times, and we've had on-camera conversations about all of the, I don't want to say turmoil necessarily, but it's been a roller coaster, dude. It's been a roller coaster since it started, and their willingness to change is probably why they're still here today, to be fair, right? Like
dude, I 100% agree.
But my question to you is, since you said that, it's kind of a perfect segue. I actually had this question for you, and this wasn't really just about MLF, this question, but I was thinking about this since last week. The Bassmaster Opens, they changed the format coming into this year, kind of sticking with the same thing next year, but now we've got all the forward-facing sonar changes that Bass is doing. You guys did it last year when NPFL did. But do you think changes are good? I'll start by saying that. I think change is needed, obviously, at times. But do you think that we change things too much in professional bass fishing for the fan to keep up with?
That's a tough question. Yeah, it's obviously yes. It's yes and no.
Yeah.
Some of these changes are necessary, right?
Amen.
And then, so like for example, Major League Fishing in the beginning, they were making a lot of changes that weren't necessarily necessary.
Yeah.
We were just there. They're trying to figure it out. So let's change this or let's change that, and got a ton of backlash from the fans,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, moving forward, I feel like a lot of the changes that we're seeing now, which is of course all associated for the most part with forward-facing sonar.
Those three deadly letters.
Hey, that FFS, boy, hey, don't you say it. Across the board, Major League Fishing, Bassmasters, NPFL, I feel like these are necessary changes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because I feel like this is coming from the number one customer, who are the fans of the sport, right? This is not necessarily, look, trust me, if Bassmaster, Major League Fishing, and NPFL were making more money because of forward-facing sonar, you would not see it going away.
That's a really good point.
Let's just keep it all the way real.
Yep.
Right. So viewership is going down due to people not wanting to visually watch this on television, on live, etc. So hey, we can't have our pockets hurting. We got to make some kind of adjustment.
You got to do something.
So we got to do something. So let's either get rid of it completely, which is NPFL did, or let's try to minimize it to where we can diversify the lure choices, the approach, the techniques, etc., that the anglers are going to use to make better television. Mm-hmm. And that's what Major League Fishing, and now you're also seeing Bassmaster making these adjustments.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just is what it is.
Did you like the you're just finishing up a year where you're 16th in the points, another great year professionally. Did you like that new format change? Because I mean, dude, you've won with live scope, but you're my punching guy. You're my Delta dude. You're going to throw a chatterbait in. I'm like, you're a power fisherman. When you first came onto the scene, that's what they put you in around some mats at Okeechobee. You're fixing to be, boat flipping some, right? Like every time. But then you go to Hawaii a few years back and you win. You were one of the first, like, we better start paying attention to this live scope deal. That was one of those deals because you talked about it on stage. You talked about it on camera a bunch. But were you all for this year after fishing a year with that? Hey, you can use it one period and then no other time during the day.
Yeah, I was. Well, so let me give you a two-part answer on that. Before we actually hit the water versus completing the whole year of doing it and then looking back, right? Okay. So leading into the year, all right, we only got four faces sonar for one period, 2 periods without. So I was ecstatic about that. I love that. I like scoping. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these guys that hate scoping. I don't, man. I love it. It's awesome. It's phenomenal technology. You can absolutely smash them when you find them, whatever, right? So I was never against it. Now, do I feel like it was getting a little out of hand? I do.
Yeah.
Because you got guys, they got live on, and I was one of those guys. So when I'm talking, I'm including myself. We got 4 live transducers on the boat, 2 off the jack plate, 2 on the trolling motor. It's excessive, man. It was it was on its way to be completely out of control. It was. So of course the leaf came through and they, made it where you can only have so many transducers, et cetera, which again, I was ecstatic about. Major League Fishing, we can only use it for 1 period. All right, boom. So now we jump out there. We fish our first tournament, Conroe, right? Mm-hmm. You can only use 4-face sonar for the first period. All right. I had a good event. I finished 15th place, but I learned something real quick after that tournament, right? Real quick, I learned, right? And so what I learned was some of these guys are so good with forward-facing sonar. You would think taking it from them for 2 periods would make it a lot tougher on them. But what it did was, in my opinion, it showcased how powerful the technology really is. Because you had guys making the cut in 2 periods.
Yeah, scary.
So in 5 hours of fishing, they've already locked in the top 20 finish. Just in 5 hours of fishing. The other the other 10 hours, it is what it is.
Go eat some snacks.
Get into what's top. Yeah, put it on the trailer and go get pizza.
Yeah.
That's what I hear a lot of these kids saying that now.
Oh yeah.
And that, to me, that was baffling, and I was just like, I don't know. It opened my eyes because you never saw it in that light before, because we all had it. We used it all day. It was what it was. Whoever was in the top 10 was in the top 10. But now I'm seeing guys after period one, especially if they scope period one. Let's say they scope period one, lines out at 10:30. I'm just throwing some random numbers.
Yeah.
So now it's 10:30 in the morning, and this dude had already quadrupled what 25th has.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, he catching them. But it ended up holding out to where he didn't have to catch no more. And this is not everybody, but this is a select few guys. This is some of the guys.
That's what I was going to say. Not to interrupt. I was going to say, now this was, everybody's got the tech on their boat in pro fishing with the exception of John Cox. And I think maybe Bill Lowen on the bass side at this point. Okay.
Yep.
So everybody's got this at their disposal. But what we have seen, especially on BPT, and we see it on the elites as well, but there are a few. A few. Drew Gill calls it the turbo round. He's like, well, we had the turbo round, and that kid is phenomenal, man. He's a freaking nature.
He's
such a
really
good dude,
is, man. Yep, great kid, man. Very smart young man.
Is.
I got a lot of respect for Drew. He is one hell of a scope.
Yes, he is.
I don't even know what category you put Drew in, but he is unbelievable. But it wasn't just him at that event. There was about 3 or 4 of them.
That's right.
And again, it just blew my mind because the whole time I'm just thinking about these chatterbait fish I got, or, I got this stretch of docks I want to go flip with a jig, or, and I'm like thinking, all right, it's going to be my time to make a move and make a comeback or slide inside that top 20 or however.
Yeah.
Which I ended up making the top 20 thanks to my chatterbait fish. But it was just, again, it was just funny to see that. So standing back, looking at it from a macro point of view, that 2.5 hour window, I feel like it's critical, and you have to catch them using the technology during that time. But the guys that are really good at it, they're going to make the most of it, and they're going to beat you in 2 periods.
Yeah, I mean, it was something to see, especially that Conroe event when Justin won. He won in 2.5 hours, essentially.
Dude,
like it was insane.
I mean, excuse me, he caught some key fish outside of that.
Right,
I fished right next to Justin Cooper.
Yeah.
Which was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
That dude was so dialed in that week. It was his tournament to win. But I literally watched him. I mean, he blasted them that first 2.5 hours. Probably caught 25. I don't know, 20, 25. He just crushed it. But yeah, man. I mean, here's the thing. If you had a tough scope period, you immediately took yourself out of having a chance to win. And
mentally, if you know they're catching them scoping like that, which you do because y'all are all in the water around each other, you can see what's going on. You guys all know what the deal is when y'all get somewhere. You've been doing it forever. Does mentally, does that get to you? Like if you have a bad scope period and you know they're blasting them scoping, does that get in your head? Because score tracker just gets in your head. Anyways, it wouldn't mind. I mean, it's super intimidating. It's what makes the format what it is. Like it's very entertaining because of the stress it causes to you guys. But does that get to you personally if you don't catch them during your scope period?
Yeah, it does. And it's not so much that they're blasting. I'm not. It's the way practice works now for me. I invest a lot of my practice time into finding scope fish.
Okay.
Because you can separate yourself in that one period, right? So if I don't catch them scoping, I'm mad at myself that, I made a bad decision or I went to the wrong area or whatever the case may be, because now I see these guys and I know they're scoping, they're taking off, and here I am, I've only caught a few. And now I know I got to go grind it out for the next 2 periods where I might get 4 or 5 bites in 2 periods.
Yeah,
6
man.
bites, you know what I mean? And it just makes it tough. So, I mean, but does it get in my mind? No, because I'm a competitor, man. And so I'm going to give it all I got every time, no matter what.
Yeah. Oh, for sure,
So,
man. And I feel like you guys that are so versatile shallow, and so confident in what you do, in the back of your mind, you're always like, I can go flip up a few, or I can go skip my chatterbait around. I'll be all right. I can catch me a few. I think that's definitely, and again, that speaks to the year you had. Looking back at that Oahe win and several years ago, did you ever think at the time that those 3 letters FFS would be the most divisive thing we've ever seen in this sport?
Man, absolutely not. But here's the thing, though, what a lot of people don't understand, because Live Scope's been out for, golly, man,
2018.
10 years now.
2018.
2018.
Well, you had Panoptics has been out for 10 years. It's been out since 15.
Years,
yeah, the OG Panoptics, but Live Scope was 18. Too. Yeah, I did too. Yep.
The old school. But so here's the thing, man. This is the reality of it. None of us anglers, none of us even knew what we had until like 3 years ago.
Yep. Yeah.
So then I was using Live Scope for 99% of the time was, oh man, look at that brush pile.
Yep.
Look at it. You just sit there and look at it like, oh, that's so cool.
Look
man.
how cool. Yeah.
That brush pile is there.
Look at my jig. Look at my jig falling in that brush pile. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that rock right there. I bet there's one probably by that rock. Let me pitch my drop shot over there. Like, it was like that. It was never like, let me put this trolling motor on high and cruise around and, oh, look at this one swimming out middle of the lake. Like, we didn't, no one ever done that. We used it to find structure. That was it. But as time went on and these youngsters start getting a hold of it and really pushing it to its limits and understanding its capabilities and what it can do, I mean, we're here where we are now. But, man, we never knew.
No.
What the true.
We had lightning in a bottle and didn't even know it. It was funny.
Didn't even know it, dude.
This past weekend, I was down at Academy in Coleman, Alabama. I had to do a deal with ABT down there. It was me, Scott Canterbury, and Wesley Gore hanging out down there for a little bit. And Wesley, young guy, second year on the elites. He's an absolute he's a terror on the Coosa River. He has been forever.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Dude's a great fisherman, but he's a fantastic scoper. And I hear from a lot of people that he's maybe one of the best scopers on the elites, and he's got some top tens to show. He doesn't have a win yet, but he's been in the classic. But anyways, he and I were talking some stuff on Saturday about it. Of course, him and Canterbury are going back and forth because Canterbury's like, they're going to just ban it. Everybody's going to ban it, and he's going to be able to use it anymore. They're going back and forth.
Canterbury old school.
Yeah, he is, right? Like, you're not going to take he don't mind the scoping, but he wants to go throw that jig around, right? That's what he wants to do. Right. And but we're all talking about it, and I told Wesley the story that I had Live Scope put on my boat in 2018 at St. Clair by Garmin Tech because I was going to do the Live Scope release at iCast. So I had it on my boat, and I went out. They put it on the off day. Daryl from Garmin at the time, he takes me, he calls Bill Taylor, sees if it's okay to put in right there in the harbor, make sure everything's good. He shows it to me. My eyes cross because I don't even know what I'm looking at that point. There's just stuff swimming around everywhere. I put the boat back on the trailer. I go back, rig my tackle, get ready for the next day. I roll out to my first spot that next morning, and all my grass rolling. I dropped the trolling motor. Dude, it was confusing me so much looking at that damn thing, I turned it off.
Turned it off. Yeah.
And dude,
I've done that.
Yeah, and then in 2019, the last year I fished the FLW Tour, there were only about 4 or 5 of us that even had it. And more times than not, I never even looked at it. I'm telling Wesley Gore this, and he's laughing and shaking his head. I'm like, buddy, you don't understand. I said, the reason we were having this conversation is I said, it's so hard to take the years of how I've loved to bass fish, right? Yep. The years of everything I did with my dad, my granddad, the way I grew up. It's so hard to take that out of your DNA and understand that you've got something that is so completely different at your disposal. And I was just talking because Canterbury and him were kind of going back and forth, giving each other a hard time. And Canterbury walked off, and I was like, dude, I get it. With all the veteran guys, why they feel this way. It's not that they can't scope. It's not that they can't catch them scoping. They can't remove 30 years of
that's it, dude.
Going to secondary points with a square bill or, you know what I mean?
Yes,
whatever.
Man.
They can't remove that from their DNA, man. They just can't. It's there. Yeah.
Man, I struggle so bad when it first popped off, when everybody started really smashing them, like chasing them, I call it fighting demons.
Yeah.
And I just fought it and fought it and fought. And it's just the results are the same every time. Ass kicking after ass kicking. I'm like, yeah, let me not. So then I spent one whole off season out in the middle of the pond, just easing around, chasing them roamers, and got pretty damn good at it. I'm like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah.
And
Now I'm gonna go do this.
And I'm gonna do this. Now I scope first.
Yeah.
That's my first inclination when I roll up to a random lake now. Whereas it used to be, you know, whatever it used to be, it don't matter. But now, random lake I pull up, I'm scoping.
I'm looking. Yeah. Me too.
I'm looking for the first however many, you know, hours or a half day or whatever, and everything else I'll do that secondarily.
Yeah, man.
At some point down the road. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I was talking to Justin Atkins about that the other day. He said the exact same thing. He said, man, he's coming off, you know, his best year in the elites and back-to-back classics. And he said, dude, I start practice with it now. He's like, it's what I do. I don't try to do anything that I used to do. And and basically saying, I'm just trying to keep pace because again, there are a select group of these folks that are so dialed in with it. Of course, you know, I was trying to pick Wesley Gore's brain down there at Academy Sports, standing in the store. I'm like, what kind of men are you shaking? Okay, what kind of line we using? You know, I'm asking. I'm like, what kind of jig heads? I'm like, you can be honest with me, Wesley. I'm not going to talk about it on the podcast. Trust me, I like catching bass more than I like sharing with people. I'm not going to tell you secret. But he was like, he was telling me some stuff that when they start, it's like talking to Hackney about flipping a jig or talking to you about punching mats or tidal fisheries, or like you start getting these little, when guys get excited talking about what they love, you start getting these little hints and that's normally when I go, yeah, these guys are different than me.
Oh yeah.
They're built different.
And that's the other thing too. I do want to say this, man, to where it didn't seem like, you know, these scopers that are unbelievable on both sides. These guys are special too in their own right.
Yes, they are.
It ain't just turn that box on, grab you a minnow, and go out there and smash them. It does not work like that. Does not work like that. And they understand little intricacies.
Yes.
Like you were just talking about, different minnow shapes, size, you know, speed of the retrieve, just so many different things that they understand that your average scoper doesn't. That's what separates them boys.
Yep.
And so, like you said, you gave a reference to Hackney talking about flipping with Hackney with a jig. It's the same thing with these guys in their realm that we don't know. And people think you just turn that box on and slide out in the middle of the lake, you about to smash. And it don't work like that.
No,
so I
dude.
do want to say that.
No, that's the go-to Facebook line, but I've joked about that for years. I'm like, buddy, you go fall in behind a Wesley Gore, whoever, a Trey McKinney, Drew Gill, you fall behind them or you get side by side, whatever. And y'all go look at the same ones and you tell me how many you catch versus how many they fit in the catch. Because you're finna find out that's not fun. That's not going to be fun.
I think it was Jesse Wiggins, man, at Conroe. He did a funny video, with Wiggins always posting funny videos.
Oh, yeah.
But he did a video that he posted right after Conroe, and he was talking about how he fished right next to Drew Gill.
Yep.
During the scoping period, 2 days in a row. And he was like, I'm just here to tell you. He said, that dude kicked my absolute, you know what?
Yep.
He's like, bro, I don't know if it was the bait or how he was doing it or da-da-da-da-da, but he absolutely destroyed me. And I had the same experience with Justin Cooper fishing right alongside him when he won. And that's the thing, man. These guys, they know
little sneaky tricks. Yeah.
Little sneaky tricks that we don't know.
And to me, that's no different than bed fishing. It's no different than flipping. It's no different than offshore fishing with, ledge fishing, your tricks to trigger bites. It's no different, dude. Yeah. To me, it's no different. 100%. Now, the technology makes it all possible, of course, right? If we couldn't see those things, we wouldn't know. But that being said, there's still intricacies to the tech, to the settings, it's dude, I am enamored with it. I'll just be honest. It's funny. Like, I'm obsessed with talking to people that are great scopers just because I've had it for so many years now and I can catch them. That's fine. But I know that if I'm lined up next to Wesley Gore or Drew Gill or Marshall Robinson, like I know they're going to catch every one of them before I get a bite. Like I know that. I know they're going to.
Sucker's good, man.
Yeah, man. And I
Suckers
want
are good.
it, but it's intriguing, man. And I do to be fair, play devil's advocate. I do like the changes because I get a little bit tired. I don't get tired of watching it. I get paid to watch bass fishing, and it's all boring at one time or another. Sometimes watching a dude throw a buzzbait going down the bank gets boring. I ain't gonna lie.
That's right.
Like it's all watching hours and hours and hours of it. But that being said, the jig head minnow dominating. My favorite thing about bass fishing as a kid was learning what Denny Brower, at least what bait he was telling us about, right? Was it something different than a jig this week? Was he flipping a tube? Was he throwing a square bill or spinner bait or whatever? But that's what we all kind of grew up loving. And I feel like that is, every bait gallery kind of looks the same now, right? They do at the right kind of tournament, So I do applaud all the trails for changing it up and kind of going their own ways. Dude, when I first met you, and I was actually talking to my buddy Trent Palmer about this the other day because we were talking about circuit breaker, and I said, when I first met MDJ, he was doing the circuit breaker thing. It was his rookie year, and do you still have people ask you about circuit breaker other than my
all
old
the time,
stuff?
Man.
That's awesome.
No, all the time.
That's awesome.
People bring that up, man. Which man, and that was my sophomore year.
Was it? I thought it was rookie year. Okay, so it was year 2.
My rookie year, I had to live in the dream deal, and then my second year, I was actually on my own.
That's right.
Minimal sponsorship, but the circuit breaker stepped in, man, which was, an absolute, just it changed my life.
Yeah, man.
But I didn't get paid for that deal. It was straight up, just camera in your face, 24/7. I don't give a damn how you feel. If you caught them, you didn't. Here's the camera and start talking, But it documented, man, such a cool season because I ended up having a really good year that year. Made the cup and just the whole 9 yards, man. But people ask me about that all the time, and even furthermore, people always ask me about. It was episode 3, and it was with my buddy Jamon, my ex-team partner for many years with the iced out watch. People always want to ask me about that iced out watch, bro. And if you guys have never seen this and y'all listening right now,
go watch
it. I recommend y'all go watch.
It's all
about the iced out watch.
It's all still there because I was thinking about one the other day and watched one of Cody Meyer's episodes the other day. Me and Trent were talking about one and I went and watched it and they're all still there. That's what inspired me. Circuit breaker inspired me to do the traveling circus deal that I did the last year I fished and all that because it was so, and I talked with FLW the Cody Meyer year. It came down to Cody and I, and they interviewed both of us and talked to us. And obviously I'm saying, looking right at this camera and saying they made the correct choice because Cody is a vacuum cleaner when it comes to catching fish. And they would, but it was my rookie. Would have been my first year. So it was 2016, I believe. That was actually the last year they did it. And his season never got finished.
They didn't finish. Yeah. I remember that.
That was the one. Yeah. And shame on you, Kyle Wood. I'm calling you out right here, buddy. Kyle didn't have anything to do with that. I actually texted Kyle about circuit breaker the other day. That's that whole thing was so awesome. But going back to those days, man, when you make the jump from Cali to here, and you become an eastern part of the country guy, so you don't have to drive back and forth and all that. Are you still now as passionate as you were when you first, man, that living the dream, you get your ride paid for, you're going to fish the FLW tour, man? Are you still right now in the grind? Are you still as excited as you were then?
Man, I am, dude. When I tell you I love this game, and I have loved this game ever since I was a kid, man, like a baby. I've just been obsessed and ate up with bass fishing my whole life, man. And so my drive and my passion for the sport is as high right now as it's ever been.
It's awesome.
I wake up every day, man. It's just such a blessing to be able to do this full time, man. And still be here, man. We got so much going on.
Yeah.
In the game with people, on both sides really, but the more drastically on Major League Fishing, guys, not we call it requalifying, but but alongside that, just cuts, man. And so a lot of guys I grew up looking up to, legends of the game, you know, they're not going to be fishing alongside me no more, which is, in my mind, is just crazy to see.
Yeah.
But it's happening, you know? And so I'm very fortunate, man, to have my spot, and I've worked my ass off for it too. It didn't just,
No doubt about it.
just get given to me. So I did want to add that, but yeah, man, there ain't a day goes by that I'm not grateful for, dude. And like I said, I'm as passionate as I ever been right now.
Well, I figured that would be your answer, because keeping up with you, you fish all the time. You are always on the water, man. And you can tell by watching, you know, social media, watching guys, the ones that are ate up with it, like DC or Jacob, like they never stop fishing, dude. They're just fishing all the time. And there's so many, I'm leaving a ton of names out because, you know, this podcast can only be so long. If I start talking about all the guys that are obsessed, you know, there are a lot of them that as soon as they get home from a tournament, they just immediately go fishing. But you like to mix in, you're fishing for bluegill, you're fishing for shellcracker, crappie, stripers. You just love to go catch fish.
Man, I love fishing, but I grew up, you know, my dad, man, I actually started ocean fishing, and anybody that ocean fishes knows the one thing about ocean fishing is you kind of never know what you're going to catch. The diversity of fish is very broad. And I've always had a appreciation for different species of fish. So like for me, panfish is like top tier. So all your different bluegill, brim species, crappie, then all your different bass species, right? So, you know, I do shoal bass, I do spotted bass, I do, you know, largemouth. I love to walk in the creek. You know, I do a lot of that. Pond fishing, man. I just enjoy the simplistics of just fishing sometimes. The old school, old fashioned way. It just does something for me. It's like therapeutic, you know?
Yep. I'm the same way, man. There's nothing, and I'm very blessed that my kids love it like I do, to go, their favorite way to bass fish is to go get in the creek, go wade the creek, man, in the summertime. And we're fortunate around here. We got a lot of good ones, a lot of little good smallmouth and largemouth streams. And dude, that's how I cut my teeth. And it's still, there's something about when you step in that water, when you talk about, like you said, therapeutic, dude, it is. The second I get in that 100%. Creek and the scenery around, and you hook your first smallmouth on that light line, man, there's something about it. Yeah. And I see I got to get with you on a shoal bass.
Whenever you want to
I want a dose of that.
So, but check it out. There's levels to the shoal bass. And so of course I'm good buddies with Flint Davis, man. He's a great friend of mine. And, so he introduced me to shoal bass, my first shoal bass with him, on the Flint River, right? Hence the name. But then there's levels to it because there's creeks and little small offshoots of the Flint that have shoal bass, bro. So I've done the creeks for shoal bass also, which is, in my opinion, it's another level up.
I bet.
But it's phenomenal, man. But yes, it's a mix between, I'm gonna say, smallmouth and spots, but they pull harder, in my opinion, than smallmouth. Okay. I've never caught one. And that's a lot to say. That's a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a lot, buddy.
To say.
Yeah, smallmouth are mad at the world all the time. That's all. 100%. They wake up pissed off every single day for whatever 100%. Reason. They're just pissed off 100%. Every single day. Dude, before we talk about anything else, I think that we should just make this segment. I might put up a graphic right here or something that says, talk Jacob. Oh no, Mark's gone. Hang on, let's get him back. Let's see. He hung up. Let's see if we can get him back here.
Dude, I don't know what happened here, bro.
I lost you, dude. It was perfect. I said I was setting up a segment called Talk Jacob Wheeler.
Perfect timing. Yeah,
you hung up right when I said it. I was like, oh no, did I cut him off? Did he? No, we were going to do this interview. I'd reached out to Mark and Jacob, and Jacob had a birthday, and we were gonna kind of talk about the team series. And I was like, well, now Jacob, we're just going to talk crap about you.
Yeah, that's right.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Man, is he human at this point? Like, what do you compete with him, you room with him and all that. Y'all are boys. But in this team event, like when you share a competitive space with him like that, what makes him tick, dude? What's the deal?
You really get to see the other side. Of course,
Yeah.
I fish with Jacob all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Countless times. We always
Yeah.
on the water, right?
Right.
Catting off. But, when you just catting around, it don't really matter. You catching me, don't I? Whatever. It's just like whatever. Tournament mode, Jacob Wheeler is a different person.
Yeah.
Right? He goes into a different mode. And it's cool to see it because I'm on his team.
Yeah, when you're not on the receiving end of it, when you're when you can high five, it's okay.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Man, he's just another level of on a different level of competitive mentally than most anglers. Is the only way I can kind of explain it, man. Like his thought process. One thing I learned about him, man, really quick, he don't mess around. So like this is something that we do as anglers all the time, right? We might get on a bank or we might see whatever the case is, a patch of grass or rock pile, whatever, right? You pull up there and you start fishing it, right? Because it looks good to you on the map. It looks good to you visually, whatever. It looks fishy. Like, let's try it. We'll pull up and we'll mill around, 10, 15 minutes, like try to see, man, maybe I need to hit it from this angle. Maybe I should try a jig.
Yeah.
Or maybe I should try a crankbait. Jacob Wheeler pulls up, drops a trolling motor, makes one cast, and says, nah, the spot's trash. Let's go. Boom. And I'm like, I ain't even got my rod undone yet. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, he's like,
you're unzipping your life jacket?
Dude, hey, my man's he can, I feel like he just
senses it.
It's weird. Yeah, he had like some sort of intuition with it, bro. Like, he can just feel it. Like, yep, it's not right. Or, yes, it is. I've seen both sides of it. Like, no, we should probably get this a little more time, or we should probably, invest a little more here or there. Like, I don't, you can't really explain it. I feel like, like with all of your athletes out there, your Michael Jordans, your LeBrons, your, Steph Curry's, these guys, they have, in my opinion, what's called like, they have intangibles.
Mm-hmm.
And then what intangible means to me is unexplainable, is what it means to me. Or some people would say God gifted, whatever, right? I can't explain it, what it is, but he has it.
There's no doubt. And
that's just all there is to it. He has it, and he's going to bring that, whatever that is, every time he's competing. It really makes sense, and you can understand why he does what he does.
Man, the speed you're talking about, that breaking down water, that speed. You used to hear stories about Van Dam like that all the time. Like pull up, make a cast, and go, and roll. Like no. And
he ain't feeling it. And
Van
Dam is, that's what I'm saying. Van Dam's one of those guys.
That's right.
Like,
that's right.
He ain't feeling it, and he can see. This is the difference. Being able to recognize that very, very quickly and not waste another 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's huge.
By the end of the day, you can save a couple hours.
Yes.
And you straight maximizing good fishing water, and then you look at the results at the end of the day, and you go, "Well, damn, he kicked everybody's butts again." No, he made countless good decisions during the course of the day.
Yeah,
that resulted in a win.
It's funny you talk about wasting 15 minutes here or there, but as a shallow water guy, when you take off down a stretch, you're like, oh, you pulled up because something caught your eye on a map or visually, like you said, and you roll up and you fish it. But I find myself over the years, I'll be 500 yards down a stretch just because I'm like, well, damn, they're probably down through here somewhere, man. I'm just going to keep throwing my square bill around, want to bite it at some point. And then you're like, oh, damn, I'm wasted 30 minutes here. What am I doing?
Let me tell you what the worst of that is, though. Let me tell you what the worst of that is. You pull up on this said stretch, right? And you catch one on your second cast. And now you got to fish the entire stretch because you think in your mind
they're there,
and then that they there. See, and that happened to us too. And that was another thing I peeped. I was like, okay, we caught one really quick, doing something. I think we're flipping grass, and boom, I catch one real quick. And I'm like, hell yeah, they about to be in this grass. In my mind,
Yeah.
And Jay, he made like 3 more flips. He's like, nah, this ain't it. We need to go. I'm like, what do you mean? I just caught one.
Hey, come on, man.
Hey, this ain't it. We need to go. Boom, take off. It's just. Again, they got almost like a sixth sense, I feel like.
And you
He can
guys
feel it in his gut, man. Like it ain't happening.
and y'all had kind of been playing catch up a lot of that final round. And
Dude, I was stressed.
yeah, and then making the decision to go offshore late to focus on smallmouth or later in the round to be able to win, not by a ton. Drew and Marshall were smashing, and dude, and Andy and Ott didn't have a great day that final day, but those two together are so dangerous. It's just crazy
and
how good they work together.
And Carson and Clausen, man. I mean,
yes,
we all caught them throughout the week. The thing is, see, this is what I love about it. We all caught them. All 4 teams caught them fishing shallow docks to make it to the championship day. All of us. That's how we got there. So that lake that we fished on the final day is connected to the first lake that we fished, Minocqua.
Okay.
Through like a little river system, and then you pop out into Tomahawk. Tomahawk's the biggest out of all of them. Well, we caught them fishing shallow docks on Minocqua. So did everybody else. So in their minds, we all kind of got locked in on that. We started on that too because we felt like that was going to be the deal. But of course, we did it for like, we did waste probably about a half hour, 45 minutes, day one, fishing boat docks and flipping grass, which resulted in, I think, we had 2 scoreable bass for like not even 3 pounds, maybe 3 pounds, 2 little ones. And J-Dub's like, bro, we probably definitely need to check some of these, these high spots, this offshore stuff. I think they'd probably catch a smallmouth. So now at this point, we're down. We're in 4th place, last. And we're down and probably like 7 pounds at this point, and we make this adjustment. And we roll out back down the lake to the biggest section of the lake, and we pull up to first place. And I think he catches one within like 2 minutes. And then, boom, I catch one, right? And then the light, you can see it in his eyes. The light bulb goes, boom, blows up, right? He's like, this is what we need to be doing, bro. We messed up. We should have been doing this. And so it's just like a complete change of energy. And it's like straight kill mode. This is what we're going to be doing.
That's incredible, man. What did those?
It was wild.
What do those team series pay? Like, what's the payout for you guys?
So
is it more of a
payout,
TV thing?
I don't know the entire payout.
Yeah.
Obviously, we won, so we made $30,000, which is split.
Okay.
So it was $15,000 a piece. And I want to say, I think last place man who didn't, the guy that got kicked out the first round, I think they made $3,500 for showing up.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah. That's
so
cool.
It's not a ton of money, but the cool thing is there's no entry fee. This is a bonus tournament for us. And it's like heavy hitters.
And a ton of
we don't have a buy-in.
Yeah, and a ton of coverage too, right? Like I mean, it's a ton of coverage. Exactly. It's a tiny field. I love the fact that it's just a few guys out there every day doing it, and they, like I said, they've been fun to watch. There's one more this year or 2 more?
There's 2 more. So we got October in Oxford, Alabama.
Yeah, that's right.
The last one, I'm fishing the last one, and they haven't announced the city yet. So the Oxford, Alabama one should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, that one's going to be I feel like I know a couple of the lakes that probably be drawn up on that thing. That could be.
That's what I'm thinking, too.
Yeah.
So you got Jacob's fishing with DC on that one.
Oh,
so that ought to be
listen, any of y'all, like, that's not fair, man. I'm just going to say, you and Jacob together, it's like Andy and I.
Hey, well, here's the thing. We get captains, right?
Yeah,
which are based on AOI finishes, and then they get the pick.
So Jacob's
just won AOI, so he get first pick.
Jacob's just always going to have the first pick. He's just always going to stack his teams.
as long as he keep winning AOI, that rascal, man, he's gonna get first pick in them team series too.
I forget that's how it goes. Wow. Damn. Just, man, I don't know. It's something to watch. I know that it's something to see. He's it's not fair at this point. I think maybe he needs to take a year off and start red fishing or something, or start fishing for marlin. He needs to do something else for give it.
You know what's funny about that? I don't want to put up too much of his business. All I'm gonna say is this: what did you just say? He needs to start fishing for marlin?
Yeah.
Just hear me out. Just don't be surprised. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, I wouldn't be. Don't
be surprised.
That boy.
Golly, don't be surprised.
Oh, that's amazing, dude. That is absolutely amazing. Well, Mark,
Yeah,
I greatly appreciate the time, dude. I know you're not
Anytime,
feeling
brother.
the best,
Anytime.
man. And I know we said it last time, but I want to do one where we sit down, just do a conversation where we can just ramble about all kind of stuff, and hopefully in the next year we can get together at some point. I'll come down your
sure,
way
man.
and go catch some shoal bass and sit down and do an LBL. I think it'd be a lot of fun, buddy. I appreciate
Anytime,
it.
bro. You let me know. I'm in on it.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mark Daniels Jr. Make sure you're following him on everything. I'm sure you already are, but if you're not, shame on you, and make sure that you are. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate you, buddy.
Right on, brother. Take care, man.
Thank you, man.
See
you. Mark Daniels Jr. right there. Kind of cut him off the end. I apologize. Such a great dude. Well, that's all she wrote with MDJ. Mark Daniels Jr., I appreciate him taking time out his Monday to hang with us low-lifers. He's been running around all over the stinking place, and it's much appreciated. Always a good time with him, and always a good time hanging with the low-lifers. I appreciate all y'all tuning in each and every week. I'm going to take you out with some Biloxi Blues. Y'all come hang with us. If you're in and or around Logan Martin, come out to the weigh-ins. We'll be there hanging out. But watch live coverage if you're anywhere else. This week will be fun, man. I promise you. It's a tight race, and we're going to have a good time on NPFL Live. I will see y'all Friday on NPFL Live. And if not, I'm sure we'll do another one of these next week. See you.
Damn these Biloxi blues, it happens every night. And I ain't never met a riverboat dealer that could ever be a friend of mine. The summer heat never treats me kind, it leaves trouble on my mind. So I'm bidding farewell, putting in my notice, and I'll see you at another